Good evening and welcome to Red Devils Roundup. I'm Harry and this is MTB.
Yeah, welcome to the channel. We really wanted to start a channel community where we're discussing everything Man United, engaging with the fans, hopefully looking to get people on the show, whether it's you guys who will be following the videos or people we know, really to, engage with what is going on down at our club.
Yeah, we're going to be looking to do 2 shows a week. Hopefully a Sunday show where we get people on the show with us to share their views. And we're going to be talking everything in terms of match reviews, transfers, ownership developments, and hopefully a new stadium. So yeah, to kick things off, it's Friday night. We've just watched the first game of the season against Fulham at home. A 1-0 victory for the Red Devils. MTB, what are your thoughts?
Mixed feelings. Obviously, really happy for the win. I think it was deserved. We definitely more dominant possession. I think we had a lot more shots on target. Saying that, it was probably like 5-2 or something. It was like that. And I'd say it's the first game in a long time, obviously excluding the FA Cup final, that I've been really excited about watching a match while I'm watching it. With that in mind, I think we were quite lackluster in the final third. You actually said to me before the game that you felt we should be looking to kind of do 3-0. I think it easily could have been. It maybe could have been 4. Luckily, I'm gonna say, luckily Ineos managed to do some good business and bring in a striker that has an eye for goal, and I guess has left us here smiling now, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big difference when Xerxes came on was literally that sort of fox in the box composure, gets an opportunity, pokes it into the back of the net. I think most of the opportunities throughout the game fell to the likes of Casemiro, Mount, Bruno, and while they're good players, they're not natural finishers, and they probably lack that bit of composure in those positions that they weren't necessarily used to, with Bruno and Mount kind of playing as a forward pair. So it was yeah, I think it made a big difference to get that natural striker on, that composure in the box, and just sole of the boot, touch into the corner, goalie no chance, result.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was nervous there when it was happening because saw Scott McTominay coming up behind, and I was like, "Oh no, don't interrupt him! Don't interrupt him!" But luckily he wasn't interrupted, and yeah, nice little bit of quality, little poke and a thing that looked like the keeper to me. Didn't even realise it was going past him until the last minute. So that was quite exciting, and I think a good platform for us to build on. You obviously would have liked to see us hit the heights of that. What was it? That 4-0 against Chelsea at the start of the season a couple of years back. That was really exciting. Since then, I can't think of many opening games since then that have been exciting. Not that there's been loads of them, but I thought there was actually some standout performances from a few players I probably wouldn't want to have even seen on the pitch. One of them being Maguire. Actually thought he had a really good game, but he was sitting a little bit deeper, and you could see they were exploiting. That was a couple of moments, but he got the better of them, which is not something we've seen obviously over the years.
Yeah, I think it kind of, while he was defensively good and made some good interventions, the positions he was in, having to make those interventions, kind of underlined why we need to use a different centre back that can play with a high line. I think when you've got Martinez trying to push up and then you've got Harry Maguire's dropping off, that then leaves those dog legs that can create a breakaway. And while Harry Maguire did well defending the one particular 2-on-1, you kind of feel like he shouldn't have been in that position in the first place. So it's
Absolutely.
interesting. I think there's definitely quite a few positives though. I felt that Mazraoui coming in looked very assured, good on the ball, good going forward. Made some good defensive interventions as well, and generally had a pretty good game. I thought
Mm,
he was probably the main highlight. Um,
yeah,
bit bit disappointed in Rashford. Don't think he had a particularly good game. It was like watching him last season, really. Yeah, I think Martinez was quality. Again, some of the defensive interventions he had to make, you'd hope that he's not in those positions when he's playing alongside a Lillet or a Euro.
yeah.
But yeah, I think generally fairly good, uh, all in
You
all.
know, do you know what? Just going back to Rashford, I actually thought I think he looked more positive, and there was a lot more positive energy about him. But he's clearly still low on confidence because there was that moment when Mount obviously got that shot, which I think he should have absolutely buried. That pass was clearly a total accident from Rashford, and I just think he's almost too self-centered sometimes as well because actually he's looking up, and then that obviously stuck in his mind because I felt later on he saw Garnacho and he's thinking pass it, pass it, pass it, passes it, and then I mean I don't know what to say. Like I'm almost embarrassed to bring it up, but saying that, yeah, first game of the season, clearly lacking a little bit of quality in that final third, but luckily there was one man on the pitch that did have that, and I think he's been the difference today. But the better team did win, and
Yeah, yeah,
hopefully
definitely.
we can build from it.
I think the creativity was there. It was just the composure that was lacking, and the sort
Mm,
of natural finisher. I'm definitely a lot more positive after that game than after any games last season. It would just be nice to be winning by a couple of goals and not be sort of dreading that last minute equaliser going into
oh,
stoppage
it was
time that
awful, wasn't it?
we, we experienced so many times last season. Um, yeah, I think it's a good start, and the main thing was just getting the win. Like you're
Yeah.
going into that game, and you've had half of the first team players have been missing through all the pre-season up until the Community Shield. You got a couple of players coming in with just a couple of days of training since they transferred in, and you're trying to knit that team together, and you don't have a lot of time. There's Fulham, then Brighton away, and then Liverpool. So
Mm.
the win today was absolutely vital. Um, some promising performances. Good to see Mazraoui on there. Um, I think Casemiro actually did pretty well. I thought
I was just about to bring him up. I
he
thought he was
got about the
fantastic.
pitch a lot
Yeah.
better than we saw through last season. Um, he had quite a few chances of shots and headers and stuff. I hope that he'd do a bit better from those, but yeah, he's definitely had a much bigger contribution both ends of the pitch, I thought, than we saw for a lot of last season.
See, he looked leggy last year, didn't he? And actually, there was a tackle noticeably, like he ran all the way forward, pressing up right from the middle of the pitch as well. And I thought, God, where's that come from? Why don't we see that last season? And maybe he is someone, he didn't get into the Brazil side. He's had probably a summer at home relaxing, and maybe that's just what he's needed. He looked like a player I'd love to keep, actually, but I think I think if I'm honest with myself, even though I feel like we've made a step in the right direction, and I don't think we've got the easiest run over the next couple of weeks. Um, I think I was actually speaking to you earlier today, wasn't I? That actually out of the first 10, probably only expect so many clean sheets. There's what, two or three or something I said that you'd think are absolutely in the bag. Otherwise, you feel like everyone else is going to have a pop at us. But actually, looking at it today, I think that confidence in our back line and for the players is only going to increase after that because I did think it was a good defensive performance. I think the midfield did work a little bit better, but
Yeah, I
still maybe something missing, isn't there? I don't quite know what it is, but it was all positive. Like line breaking passes, getting people out wide. It was all a little bit quicker till it hit Rashford, where it stopped down a little bit sometimes. But yeah, positive. I think one thing I've got to say is, how long have we got left now? So what, we're on the 16th. So, well, we've got 15 days left the transfer window.
I think
Just over 2
on the
weeks,
30th,
basically.
so it's 2 weeks today.
Oh, is it 30th? Sorry, I thought it said first.
Yeah.
So it's 14 days. So it's exactly 2 weeks. And actually, I look at that team and I do think it does need some more signings so we can get moved on. Like Scott McTominay, yeah, came in and did his moment, but wouldn't have been so nice just to have another proper midfield to take that off. If we had someone like Garte, you feel that would be, we would have felt much more assured, at least towards the end. But I get to Litz, like it's not been there very long, but he didn't look super exciting coming on, did he?
Yeah, I mean, for me, he was only on the pitch for 10 minutes. Didn't have a huge amount to do. Saw him make a couple of passes. Didn't see him make any mistakes. So I don't think you can read too much into his performance tonight, I would
No, I
say.
agree. Yeah, I think I'd like to see. I think also coming on with Johnny Evans, I don't see that being a punish. The words Evans was all right, but I think we just want to see Martinez and De Ligt playing together and see if we can actually finally get this working. Actually, do you know what? Now I've said that, I hadn't actually thought about this before we came on, but that's actually probably my biggest disappointment. I'm so excited about playing that higher line, seeing a bit more pressing. I'd say there was minimal pressing from the front. They were pressing at times. Otherwise, they were kind of holding a bit of a front offensive line. And that the back did, even though I think they defended well, looks a little disjointed, like you said, like that gap that was getting created. And I think it did leave us exposed, but they handled it quite well.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the shots, I think Onana only had to make 2 saves. One of them was that Tete shot from outside the box, and then the other one was the deflected one off Mainoo's shoulder that might have gone in the top corner. So he didn't have a huge amount to do. I think we closed most stuff down fairly well defensively, but I think better attacking teams will challenge that defensive line if we're playing with Maguire and Martinez or De Ligt and Evans. So I'd like to see De Ligt and Martinez and pushing up and getting those two players who both want to play the high line. I think that's going to be huge. Definitely think we need another midfield signing. I don't really want to be seeing McTominay coming off the bench there. And I don't really want to be seeing Casemiro playing all 90 minutes. I think, as you say, Ugarte is going to be a good option if we can get that over the line. Then the other major thing we just need is a proper left back, because Dalot didn't do anything wrong today, but he was fairly anonymous, I thought, for most of the match, and it's clearly not where he wants to be playing. So yeah, I think we do need that left back to come in.
Let's just come out from Ten Hag. I expect more from this team, but we have a foundation we can build on, which is exactly what we're saying. Performance is good. It was definitely better. Over the 90 minutes, of course, there's room for improvement. Couldn't agree with you anymore. But I think all over the performance and the execution of the game plan was very good. And I agree. What's this? I think the performance was okay. The win was very pleasing. Start the season with a win is very important. We are not ready as a squad, and that is interesting. I did kind of think that actually when he came on, but really interesting. And actually, another thing I've just seen is Andrew Pereira, ex-Man United player, created 6 chances tonight, 3 more than any other player on the pitch. Very interesting. Not a Man United player doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. But I go back to Ten Hag's comments. I think it's right. And you're looking at that team, and it's not the first team that it's not the 11 that he'd have been selecting in 2 weeks' time when people have had a chance to get up to fitness. I think the
Mm.
main thing was just getting through this game, getting the win under the belt so that we can go to Brighton with a little bit less pressure and a little bit more confidence. And hopefully we've got De Ligt and Martinez starting, and we can get through that game as well and go into the Liverpool game with a bit of momentum behind us. I think that's going to be the key. I'm not expecting us to be playing perfect football these first few weeks. I think unless we sign a decent left back, we're going to need to wait until we see Shaw back to play the style of football that he wants,
Yeah.
which is going to be after the international break at best.
I think you are right about having that full team, because Brighton is going to be a tough game, right? There's no question. They're looking back for full strength. I think they've had a bit of a change how they're going to play, but they've got some exciting talent, and actually, we need to keep moving forward. Another interesting thing I just saw come out is, apparently Sancho wasn't well. He's had some, I think it's an ear infection. What did you say? Let me just read that. Yeah, an ear infection this week and wasn't 100% fit. I mean, honestly, after watching that team, I just don't see how he gets in it at all.
No, I just can't see him being anywhere near that starting lineup or even on the bench. He's going to struggle. Yeah, I think Ahmad didn't have his best game, but he was still getting involved, getting on the ball, playing positively. Yeah, I can't see Sancho getting in for him. Can't see him getting in ahead of Rashford and Garnacho. So what's Sancho's role going to be? I think,
I
but
mean, surely he's got to be moving on.
mm, yeah, you'd hope, but no.
But this PSG thing, it did go a bit quiet, but it seems to be heating back up again. I think everyone is quite keen on that happening, because I must say, I think Sancho will do really well there. I have heard he's now been linked to Chelsea as well, which I'm not sure I'm buying.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. They've got 17 wingers. They've got more than we've got.
Is it 17? That's not true.
I just made that up.
Yeah, I thought
Got
so.
a lot
I
of wingers.
thought so.
Yeah.
17 wingers. I would believe it. I'd believe it. Honestly, I think. I mean, we clearly just need more talent, but there's still a few people to go. I think there's a few more people to come in. Um, you know, I think today's phrase of the game for me is actually, do you know what? That was a decent performance. It was a real step forward, and it was a good platform for us to build on. Thank
Absolutely.
God we got the win.
Yeah. Thank God we got the
Thank God
win,
we
because
got the win.
it would have felt wrong if we hadn't got over the line there. I think we deserved to win that game, but yeah.
Yeah. I think the last thing I would say about it all, while the game was going on, one of the WhatsApp groups I was in, literally people were being like, it's Fulham, it's Fulham. And I can't believe people are like saying it's only Fulham. There's different levels to this game. I'm thinking, do you people watch football? Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but Fulham, and this is an improved Fulham team that have now been playing with each other for a while, they beat Arsenal. They drew against Arsenal first, and then they beat them. You know, they took Liverpool all the way. It was like 4-3 from memory. I mean, West Ham, I'm pretty sure they got battered 5-0. Actually, do you know what? I think they lost both games, but I can't remember the second result. I know they beat Spurs. I know they beat us at Old Trafford last year. We beat them at Craven Cottage. But my point is, I know Chelsea, I think, did win both games. But you look and at the list of who they won against last season, and you think, I mean, there is quality in that team. There's a lot of, almost kind of players there that there is quality, but they've never been able to deliver at a consistent enough
Yeah,
level.
they've got a lot of players that have played at big clubs.
Yeah,
You look at the likes of Iwobi, Smith Rowe now, obviously Pereira played at United. And they've got a nucleus there that have been together for a long time now, playing under Silva,
Yeah,
and he seems to have them well drilled. They're a slightly erratic team, as you said. I think they had a few bad losses last season, but then they put in some big performances against the big teams. So I don't think it was ever a game that you'd kind of take for granted.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Um,
That classic mid-table Premier League club. I think they were 13th last season. I say I think I'm actually know they were 13th last season,
yeah.
and should have maybe done better. But it's a competitive league, and I think on their day they can beat any team, and we saw that
Yeah.
last year.
No, I think anyone saying, "Oh, it's only Fulham." I mean, do you watch the Premier League or do you just watch the French league? In
Yeah,
the French league, you'll play against the 13th place team and you'll expect to smash them 5-0. You don't have those kind of games in the Premier League.
no. I mean, I tell you what. For me, they're a Premier League side, Premier League players. I actually had a guy in one of the groups comment just being like, "This team should be in the Championship." I'm thinking, what world are you living in? You know, like, are you watching the Premier League? I get, traditionally speaking, Fulham haven't been, over the last 10, 20 years, a big club, but, that they have developed into quite a formidable side. And, you look at other clubs like Brighton, you know, West Ham, I saw something the other day about them and they were talking about how they need to be kicking on. Yeah, they need to be in the top eight is what their expectations are. They won't accept less than 10th and got to be doing this, got to be having a good cut run. I remember when I was at university, and granted, I know that was like 15, 20 years ago now, but they were, in the championship. They were all over the place. I remember we used to give some of the guys who are West Ham fans loads of jokes to us that they are a big club now. They've created a formidable side, and we can keep doing this about loads of other different clubs in the league.
Yeah, I mean, you
You
just look down that league table, and the top eight are all very strong, and then you go down to the likes of Brighton, West Ham, and stuff, and these teams will be playing Champions League football if they're in the French league or the German league.
yeah,
They're that sort of level, and yeah, that's the strength of our league, which is great. It's just a shame we've got Man City at the top there, who are so far ahead because they're not
uh,
playing with the same rules as everyone else. But
no.
there we go.
Hopefully, they'll find out what happens to people that do that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
look
look,
at that.
yeah, I think exciting times. Really looking forward to doing a season of these, and hopefully we can get some more people on to have these discussions because, unfortunately, everyone here is going to have missed it. But we've had people call in from the who have been at the game, and it sounds like there's a lot of excitement down there. And I'm wondering what I'm doing sitting in this attic. So, yeah. On to the next one, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good chat, good result. Looking forward to the game against Brighton, and we'll probably have a catch up in midweek as well. Anyway,
Yeah, and well, hopefully we'll get a few more videos out because it hasn't gone well for us so far, has it?
no, but yeah.
Great stuff.
All right.
Well,
Well, yeah. Thanks, and thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe, and we'll be getting some more videos out in the coming weeks. And
yeah,
yeah, looking forward to getting some of you guys on the channel as well. So, uh,
fantastic.
thank
Thank
you.
you for joining.
Yeah, bye.